So, Paul, welcome to the show.
Hello, Will. Nice for the invite on, mate. Thank you.
So I'm really looking forward to this because this is the first. So I've had some great guests, and a lot of our guests have been people that work in the personal development space. They've been coaches and trainers, and we've had some great people. But I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a few months now, and I want to give a special shout out to a mutual friend of ours, Billy Long, who I met you through. Ironically, today is the day we're recording this. It's been 4 years since I had my first and only boxing fight.
What today?
Yeah, 4 years today, which I did win by TKO in the third round.
That's what I like to hear.
Exactly, it was all good, but I thought it was very apt. So there's the synchronicity with this all. But Paul, you're not just a normal boxer. You know, I mean, you've had quite a record. I mean, you had 18 unlicensed fights. You had 6 professional fights. And you didn't even start boxing until you were 29 years old, but now you're a professional bare knuckle boxer, you know? So there's a few things that I want to touch around that, and we'll get into why you got into that at 28 years old shortly. But bare knuckle boxing, when I always used to think of bare knuckle boxing, I used to think of travelers in a site with their shirt off, basically having a tear up.
That is exactly what it was, Will. I grew up watching, watching the straighteners that the traveller used to have, and it was exactly like, two fellas that either had a disagreement or they was fighting for money, shirts off, and then until one of them said they was done, sort of thing. Like they fought it out, stand up, boxing straight up, sort of thing, no kicking, punching, or pulling, or whatever. You know what I mean?
And no ring. Normally, it's like people just standing round.
Yeah, standing round, yeah. And I watched a few great tear-ups as a kid. I grew up in Wickford, so the travelling community there is quite a big thing. And it was just the norm. I've got to say, when I watched it as a kid, it used to scare the life out of me. I'm not going to lie. I say a kid, I was about 15, 16 years old,
Right. Okay. So were you in that environment then where you were, so you mentioned Wickford. So this podcast will be listening from all over the world, but this particular part of Essex in England that you're talking about, not too far from where we both live, there's and certainly in the past, I don't know if there is so much now, but there was a lot of travellers that used to...
Yeah, the travelling community there is still pretty strong. Will, I believe in Essex now. It's more all over. Where years ago when I grew up, it was pretty much Wickford based. That was it was a town where the travellers did settle there.
So what I find fascinating, and having got to know you, and actually having get to know boxers for over the period of time, and I'll never forget, I mean, behind me, for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you'll see I've got a boxing glove, and the boxing glove that I've got there is a signed Sugar Ray Leonard boxing glove, and my dad met him when he did a show called The Contender, and he said, Will, one thing you'll learn about boxers is that they're the nicest people in the world. They're real gentlemen. And he said that this Sugar Ray Leonard is one of the softest guys he ever met. And having met lots of boxers and been around them, I can vouch for that. And having met you, I mean, for, again, people that aren't watching this, you're a pretty scary guy, Paul. I mean, you're covered in tattoos. You've got a shaven head. You've got this beard. And you look like you can do damage. And we know that you can do damage. I've seen the footage, and you hold the world record, of course, for the fastest ever knockout of Bashir Fakori at just 2 points.
I've got to put it right. It was a knockdown, the fastest
knockdown
in the world, because he weren't clean out. I'll give you his jersey. He got back up. Don't get me wrong, he got knocked out pretty soon after. But yeah, that initially, that was the fastest BKB world record for the fastest knockdown. Yeah.
But you are, and again, I had the pleasure of meeting you on a few occasions. You are a lovely guy, and I'm not just saying that because I know you can beat the crap out of me, but you are, you're humble, and you could walk down the street and pretty much anyone, unless they've got some sort of weapon, that they're not walking away from you, which I suppose in itself has but you don't have that aura, you don't carry yourself in that way. So what I want to know, what was it in a sort of short summary that made you decide at 28 years old you were going to start boxing?
I've been through some mad journeys, Will. I was into steroids and weightlifting at a young age. I work security on nightclub doors, so the persona of bigger, better, and I'm big and you're tough or whatever. Got hold of me. I was up to just under 20 stone, and I had a sort of fall in health due to the steroids. And then I had some mad idea that I wanted to do a boxing fight. Didn't know nothing about boxing, didn't know what it took, what dedication it took. I took a fight. I think I'd done 5 weeks on the pads with a friend of mine. I got educated very quickly into what boxing takes. And I lost my first fight, and then it just got me, Will, and it just got me. I went down, like I lost sort of like, my lowest weight I fought professional boxing was 11 stone.
Wow.
I was nearly 20 stone when I was weightlifting. It was a big journey, but boxing got hold of me after that first fight. Even though I lost, it was something, it lit something up in me, Will. And that was only the start. I was 28, too old, what I thought too old to go professional and sort of pursue a career out of it. Little did we know what we was going to pull off and what we are pulling off.
Yeah, nice. It's incredible. And one of the things, I mean, you talk about training hard and going from 20 stone down to 11 stone is quite some achievement by anyone's standards. But one of the things that I've got huge admiration for you is I talk about having a North Star, right, which is an ultimate goal. And I get my clients to identify what their ultimate goal is in life. And then we break that down into smaller goals. So they've got things to focus on and it gives them those achievements. But one of the things that so many people do is they train really hard when they know they've got something coming up, whether it's a holiday, whether it's, we're talking physically training. So a holiday, a wedding, I don't know, something along those lines. But throughout this year in 2020, because of the whole coronavirus situation, you were training relentlessly. So the equivalent of being in camp, as we would call it, as if you had a fight coming up, but without having a fight coming up, just having it completely open-ended. So what was it that was going on in your mind every day that was waking you up to absolutely beast yourself in terms of training, but knowing that you might be doing that for the next year before you have a fight?
The truth of it, Will, is I've been doing it. I've been training like that for 8 years, mate. It's not that what happened was Billy approached me and said, would you put some training up over lockdown so the members get a bit of incentive, a bit of sort of like drive, a bit of, you can do this away from the gym. You don't have to be in the gym to train, this, that, and the other. And I started putting it online, Will, and I think people thought I was putting it online, like yourselves, you believed it was just because of lockdown, this and that. I train like that every day of my life, Will. It's not in camp, out of camp. Life's a camp to be in. Life's a fight. And I treat it like that. That hour a day I give myself, it is my selfish time, my demon fighting time, my concentration that at some stage, because I'm still professional fighting, someone is going to be punching me in the face with bare knuckle. I focus everything, negative and positives, and I deal with it in that hour, 2 hours. I give myself whatever it is a day my training is. And that's my why. You say about having a North Star, Will. Me and another mind coach that I work with from up north, we talk about you've got to have a very strong why. And that's my why, mate. There is no, it's not because of my fight, because of the date. Yeah, it's what I'm trying. My why is the biggest drive in my life, not my date, not lifting a belt and being the champion, nothing like that. It's my why is why I drive hard every day. And that didn't change because of lockdown, Will. It suited me. Yeah, I'm not a very social person. Lockdown meant you can't socialise with no one. I had my equipment at my house that I need. I had my children off of school. I had my partner there. I was in my element, Will, and that gave me more drive, more drive to train hard, so that I know that I'm the best version of me, physically, mentally, so that if I get any dates dropped on me, we come out of lockdown on the quick, we need a fighter ready, you got a title for whatever, bang, that's me, Will. I'm 39 and I won't give any chance up. I'm running out of time. Everyone knows that's chasing a physical goal. In your 20s, even early 30s, you think you've got time to improve and time to get somewhere. You start hitting 40s and the ages, well, you're running out of time. Your body tells you what you can put in. Not your drive, not your, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Your body's telling you ain't doing shit today because you feel absolutely battered. So that drive and everything else, mate, about the lockdown, I think it's why, Will. That's my why, mate. That got
And
me.
what is that why for you?
It's a mixture, mate. It's a lot of being put in boxes in my life, telling me you can't do this. It's not right for you to do it. It doesn't suit you doing this. This isn't for you. This isn't your sort of thing. You know, you're not that guy. This, that, and the other. Physically, Will, I've got things going on with my body that I've been told that I couldn't weight lift, and look what I've done there. Got told I wouldn't be able to box. The British Boxing Board knocked me back on my license, professional license, due to, again, my physical problems, and I had to sit a board meeting and get proof from a hospital in London that have treated me through my life, to say that basically, you know, that they are backing my decision up to put myself in, you know, for professional boxing. And that's my why. Yeah, my little kids looking at me, and I don't know, some of them's like my little kids, like, I'm not strong enough to do this, I'm not big enough to do this, Daddy. And I say, you're telling yourself that, you're limitizing yourself. Like I was told limits, Will, that I pushed through, and I've succeeded, and I'm still succeeding to this day, even though everything's against me, including now my age. So that then children can grow up looking at me thinking that, like, Daddy didn't take that, didn't accept that, you know, he drove forward and got it. Yeah, just, I've got loads, mate. I could go on, Will, because, like, I literally do fight this journey for myself. You know, I don't want smoke blown up my ass by other people. I'm not after other people to go, that was a great fight you done. I love that, by the way, and I credit everybody that does follow me and give me that love. It is touching, but I don't do it for their great, like, their praise, Will, you know. I've got it for my own reasons, you know what I mean? And I think that's probably why nothing can break my concentration and drive, Will, because I'm not relying on other people's smoke to fuel my fire. Yeah, it's me. You know,
Yeah.
on my worst day of my life, I've got as much drive as on my best day of my life, because I create that. No one else.
I love that you're not driven by that external validation, and it's all internal. And what I think was also really interesting is that you're not other people. You said about being put in a box and other people's opinions. Let's call them an opinion. Opinion of what you can and can't do.
That's important, Bill, most of my life.
Yeah. You mentioned health and certain health reasons. So other people said that you couldn't do certain things. What was that, or what were those health reasons?
Well, the truth of it, well, I've got a curved spine. I've got a very out of shape spine. I've got scoliosis. I've got Sherman's disease. I won't bore the podcast with it, but basically, paper-wise, like they told me by the time I was in the early 20s, well, I was going to be in a wheelchair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. So for someone that was told, which was an opinion once, which you could have taken on board at whatever age they told you that.
I did. But what it is, Will, with the operation that I needed, it takes 3 years for recovery. Do you know what traction is?
No.
Traction's where they drill a cage in your head and they drill a cage on your hips. And the machine comes down every 3 hours, clips onto both, straightens your spine, turns you over, and then comes up and leaves your face down and turns you over. This operation, you've got to be in traction for 18 months, Will. You've literally not got to see your friends, family for 3 years just for recovery. And then there's only a 70% success rate out of it. But in theory, it's meant to make you perfect. Well, I'm pretty perfect where I'm sitting. So
you didn't have the traction then? No, you didn't have the traction.
I've refused it from, it was probably about 19 was the first stage they told me that I needed it.
So you've what they told you were going to need, which meant, like you say, you couldn't see friends and family for 3 years and all that other stuff. 18 months having the traction, you were able to overcome that via your own mindset.
I started having children. My little kids, I'm throwing up in the air, I'm playing down the park with them, I'm doing whatever, yeah, anything, cuddling them, carrying on my shoulders, whatever. You have that operate, you ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
You're locked from your hips. You ain't doing none of that. You got a back like that, yeah. So you got the perfect posture. You can't do fuck all. But I ain't doing that. You know, my kids want, you know, I'm active, man, and nothing's going to tell me that I can't be, you know.
So one of the things that I've got, again, I've had the pleasure of a few training sessions which you've run down at Box to Burn in Chelmsford in Essex, and one of the things that you start your session saying is, one thing I ask of you is that you work hard. And you say, I don't care whether you're brand new, whether you've been doing boxing for a long time or not. You say, all I ask of you is to work hard.
That's it. You've got to give everything, mate. Everything. Success, Will, there's a little saying that I see, and it's success is something that's earned, but the rent is due every fucking day. And it is. You know, every day, unless you're, even on your worst days, yeah, if you've not put, it's only a worst day if there's no even push on your mind. If you sat there and took yesterday as a better day than that day, and I mean down to the littlest of things, of simple things, like if you ain't picked up the dog crap in your garden that day, right? You didn't do that yesterday, but the next day, if you don't drive yourself up and go and do it, you're slipping backwards. It's never a forward motion. And I know that's people probably thinking, what's he talking about? Think about it. Yeah, you get up, you've not driven, you've not gone, right, I've got to go and do that. No matter what, you might not fancy it, it's cold outside, it's raining, whatever. It's got to be done. And then that is better than yesterday. You've achieved more than yesterday at the smallest amount. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's that compound effect. So so you have that attitude that every day you're getting up and you're attacking the day, regardless of emotions. Now, let's on emotions, let's talk about it, right? So you're going into these environments, right? As a trained professional, you've had some horrific gashes to the face. I've seen some of them, and people that no doubt want to see you on Instagram. So what is your Instagram, by the way, for people that might want to follow you on?
Team Already, that there. Well, that's
Team Already.
Team Already is our company.
Team Already, and the people that are thinking about this. I mean, when you're going into and you're going to have a fight, do you feel fear?
Everybody feels nerves and fear. Well, otherwise, you're not right up, as in you're not right up the correct way. You know, if you're not fearful of something, it means you're sort of you're content with something. And if you're content with something, it means you're lazy. Yeah, being content is at ease. When you're going into a moment of violence, that is not a moment to be eased. Yeah, you've got someone that wants to hurt you. Yeah, basically the way I've always looked at it, I teach myself, is their great night, yeah, their night where all their friends and family goes, yeah, that was great, their hands being raised, you know, you're the man, is your bad night. Yeah, your bad night where everyone's feeling sorry for you. You could be in hospital with your injuries. So you can never be that second best, Will. Do you get what I mean? You can never be someone's reason to be good. You're good, you know, and repeat that mindset. Know in your training, the way I do it is, in that hour before fight, or whatever, maybe the day before fight, little butterflies flick up in your stomach. You start getting that dry throat. You think, fuck, right, it's fight time now. It's all down to this. I repeat every day of my camp in my head. Every single session I've done, Will, in my head, I watch myself. Watch my Instagram stories that I replay. I watch it. After about 30, 40 minutes of that, I sit back and I think, right, the last 8 weeks or whatever, could I have done one thing harder? And if the answer is no, Will, I ain't scared of nothing, because no one or nothing could have got me better. And if I go in that ring, even if I trip over, knock myself out and he wins, it's written in the stars, because there's nothing in this whole world or life that could prepare me better. I am at my best and at my strongest, fittest, ready to do battle. And if I fail that, I can't be angry about it. This is life in a funny sort of way. Well, I have no fear of losing, which makes me a right dangerous opponent. It really does. And that's why I give everything. You know, all the training, every day by day thing, that's fighting demons in here, mate. That's keeping me in the right place. Now, when I fight, that is it. I throw every care in the world out of that window. For that 6 minutes, my life's on the line, Will. And there is nothing more that makes your soul more alive. You know, there is nothing more.
So I just want to make sure on something then. So you're saying that the reason that you have no fear of losing is because you know that when you walk into that ring, there's nothing more you could have given, because you'd emptied the tank for 8 weeks or whatever it is that you're in camp.
Totally. As long as there's no corners cut, Will, and there's no stones unturned, there's nothing you can do. That man could always be better than you. Naturally, he could be more, you know, physically better than you, which means he's gifted, he's faster, which means it's written in the stars what's going to happen. Yeah, if you've tried as hard as you can, there's no shame in losing. If that man is a better man than you at that point, for any reason, it's written in the stars, Will.
I love that.
There is nothing there. I've got no ego, yeah. That's what people get tied up on. They get winning and losing tied up on, no, I'm not losing because I'm so good and I'm better than them. No, you got a fucking ego. You're trying to feed your ego with your wins. Yeah, I won again. Yeah, I won again. Yeah, now undefeated. Who cares? You know, nobody learns without being defeated at something, Will. If I had no defeats in my life, be it in my fights or in my life experiences, I wouldn't have nothing to say to you, bro. I'd have nothing to offer to anyone. The youngsters I coach, my friends that come to me for advice, if I didn't have all my losses, Will, I'd be no one, mate.
Yeah, it's a great place to be in. I use a similar question. I say, have I done everything in my power? Sort of similar sort of thing. And if the answer is yes, then like you say, that is the universe, whatever written in some however you want to be. Yeah, exactly. You know, and hey, Sarah. So something else that I think again was quite surprising, and like I say, for people that who aren't watching this on YouTube, like I say, Paul, you look at him, the guy is tattoos down to your hands. You're what I mean, you're incredible shape, incredible what you do, and you're very stereotypical of what someone might think a bare knuckle boxer might look like, right? But lovely guy. And
but if you know, Will, when I meet anybody, the last thing I say is that I'm a bare knuckle fighter. Never say it. If someone says, what do you do? I say, I'm a boxer. I'll never once start off say, I do BKB. Mate, maybe when I was 20 standing in the pub, but not now. I cringe it because people take it as such a violent sport. It's not the way you want to conduct yourself around people's parents and things like that. You know, people come in, they go, I Googled you. You don't have no gloves on. And I'm like, you know, because it's a little bit, it makes me feel a bit embarrassed, Will, you know?
Yeah. Well, on that note then, so I want to talk about this because this is something that I would never have expected from someone like yourself, is that pre-lockdown, I remember having a session which you ran, and at the end of it, you said, right, we're now going to do breathing exercises. Now, I'm a huge fan of conscious breathing, have been for years, and believe it plays a really important role in how I operate day to day. But where did you first come across the power of breathing techniques?
I first used it, Will, because I used to be like 30. When I used to work on the door, I used to smoke 30 fags, Benson Eddy's Gold, literally a day. And it was originally, I started it to clear my chest after my boxing sessions. Then it got a little bit deeper, and would you believe it, I started yoga. And that's something I'm a great believer in. And then me and my yoga teacher, like, I showed him what breathing I do for my reasons, and he was like, "Wow, that's like a sort of good." Like, he didn't say it was. Well, he did actually. He said, "You got a good technique," and I said, "Well, I do it because I believe where I smoke, my chest is filled up, blah blah blah. So I want to open my lungs up and train them because, again, your lungs are a muscle. So if you work them a lot, they get bigger and fitter, just like any other, muscle in your body." So we got into this thing, and then I created that exercise I put you, and I live by it. Well, every day I do that. And it's just saying that I believe that, like, getting, like, you know what I say when I'm doing it with you, like, you get your negativity out, you're drawing that out of the pit of your belly, all that shit that's eating you up, you know, giving you that feeling sort of thing, get all that out. And then when you're pulling in fresh ideas, you know, fresh energy. Like, it does sound deep, but yeah. And then once you've got that in your body, like I say to him, like, get all that rubbish in your head, you know, and drive it from the pit of your belly out. And yeah, I mean, I believe some people get it, Will. Do you know what I mean? Some people do, like, get the body in sync with the brain, which means it works at 100% better rate. Yeah, and I believe it works, my man. Like, you know, I still smoke, Will, every day, you know, and I'm one of the fittest 40-year-olds you're ever going to meet, mate. So there's got to be something with my breathing, bruv, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, so just to reiterate, so it's really clear for people, is that you do the breathing exercises. So you originally did them to because you wanted to clear your lungs up.
Yeah, but then I got such benefits out of it, and when I took it over to more the psychological thing, when my man yoga, Aaron Petty, I've got to shout him out as it goes. Be rude not to, because he taught me a lot. Will, he taught me a lot. When he broke down a bit, and like I locked on my mind with oxygen in and out of your body, the vision of your lungs getting bigger, like, just mad thing, man. Just really synced myself in with this pattern of, you know, getting negativity out, with whether that be out of breath in a fight, a bad day you've had. Like, everyone, when you get anxiety, well, it eats you up. you feel like inside, you know, something's there, you know what I mean? You want to get it out of you. And I believe if you could sort of flush yourself, I don't know, man, it sounds funny to talk about, Will, you know. Obviously, on the back of me training for an hour, and I'm coming down, you know, like my testosterone is lowering down, everything's calming down. Doing the breathing exercises on the end of it, it goes in well with what you want from your body. You're shutting your body down from, you know, the erraticness, the spine, or whatever it is. You're coming down, you're getting all that lactic acid built up in the muscles as well as in your lungs. That's that plasticky feeling you get when you're punching, you feel like you can't breathe. So if you train to get that feeling out of your lungs in a fight, you can use it as well, you know?
So, I mean, we've spoke a lot about a few different things, and obviously you're doing something that's very, very physical. How important is mindset to what you do every day?
70% of what I do, mate.
So 70%, yeah.
Only 30% is physical.
And you've heard it there from someone that's at the top of their game that has a world record for the fastest knockdown, is that 70%.
Well, look at this, Will. You're in the gym 1 to 2 hours a day. There's 24 hours in a day, bruv. So it's probably less than 30%. You're not physically involved in training your body for, say, break it. Say if it was 30 hours in a day, you're not doing it for 10 hours a day, and then that would only be 1/3 of the day. Do you get what I mean, guys? When psychologically, you're training yourself and fighting 24 hours a day.
So this has been fantastic, Paul, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm really grateful, and I know it's something that people can take so much out of. One thing for you, out of all of the mindset work you've done and all of the different techniques that you have, if you could only do one of them, or I suppose, if you could only do one of them each day when it comes to your mindset techniques, which would it be?
It's not a technique, Will. It's a mindset. And I'll say it, but I want to explain it if you don't mind. Right. So I'm 40, 4 children, had a load of experience in life and in fighting. And the one mindset that I'll tell everybody to set out if you want to succeed in life is be selfish. Right? And that is do something for you and your family, right? Because when you shut that front door every day, it's them people there that look at you like the hero or look at you like the devil. But them people there, you always want to be their hero. It's a fact, Will, you know. You're going to die with them people around your bed, like your family was around your bed when you came into this world. The rest of it is irrelevant, bruv, honestly. If you can sleep well at night with the people that are under your roof, mate, that is the mindset you want. And to do that, Will, you've got to be selfish. People think that having friends, having social events, having this, having that, all different circles, this, that, and the other, fuck all that. Be selfish and look after the people that love you more than anything on this earth.
Love that. And that's obviously one of the very, very big drivers for you, which you spoke about before. And like you mentioned, you know, when you had that choice of being able to be bedbound for 3 years or being able to pick your kids up and play with them and families, very, very important to you. So no, that's great. So Paul, thank you so much. Again, just for one more time, if people want to connect with you or find out more about you, where can they do it?
Team already on Instagram. I only really work out of Instagram or Box to Burn, Will. Box to Burn Chelmsford. That I'm a head coach here. Obviously, Billy Long's the owner of the gym. And we're all the time helping people on all different journeys and different age people. Like I say, you can find me, Team already on Instagram. Box to Burn if you want to contact us through the boxing sort of gym side of it.
Love that. Lovely. Thank you very much. Well, that's been great, Paul. Thank you for being a great guest. If you like this, obviously, again, connect with Paul, and it'd be great for you to come and join us in the Make It Happen community on Facebook, where you can connect with us as well. So until next time, make it happen.
Cheers, Will.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Make It Happen with Will Polston podcast. Make sure you join Will's free Facebook group, the Make It Happen community. Please support the show by subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Share this episode with at least one friend you think would benefit from it, and give Will a 5-star review wherever you download your podcasts. Until next time, make it happen.